The wind howled through Chicago's West Loop, carrying the bite of a late March night in 2025. Jake Miller, 38, tugged his jacket tighter as he stepped off the L train, a tired smile flickering across his face. He'd cut his Milwaukee business trip short, eager to surprise his wife, Sarah, with a late-night dinner at their favorite jazz bar on Randolph Street. 8 years of marriage, countless shared dreams, a cozy house in Evanston, maybe a kid or two, had made Jake feel like the luckiest man alive. Sarah's quick wit and warm hazel eyes were his anchor, his home. But tonight, that home was about to crumble. Jake's brownstone on Morgan Street was dark, save for a faint glow seeping from the upstairs bedroom window. The quiet unnerved him. Sarah usually left the porch light on. He fumbled with his keys, the clink echoing in the still night, and stepped inside. The air felt heavy like the calm before a storm. Dropping his duffel bag by the door, Jake climbed the stairs, his boots soft on the hardwood. He pictured Sarah curled up with a novel, her reading glasses slipping down her nose, and his smile widened. But as he reached the landing, a low murmur stopped him cold. It wasn't the TV or a phone call, it was voices, intimate and unfamiliar. His heart thudded, a primal warning. The bedroom door was ajar, casting a sliver of light across the hall. Jake's hand hovered over the knob, his breath shallow. He pushed it open, and the world tilted. There was Sarah, his Sarah, sitting close to a man on their bed, her hand resting on his arm. The man, Marcus Kane, 50, exuded a polished confidence, his tailored suit stark against the rumpled sheets. His graying hair caught the lamplight as he leaned toward her, his voice smooth as silk. "We're building something bigger, Sarah. You're essential." Sarah's eyes, usually so familiar, gleamed with a devotion Jake had never seen, not for him. Time froze. Jake's vision narrowed, his pulse roaring in his ears. Without thinking, he grabbed a baseball bat propped against the hallway wall, a relic from his college days. His grip tightened, knuckles white, but before he could move, the bat slipped from his trembling hands, clattering to the floor. The sound shattered the moment. Sarah gasped, her face paling. "Jake, it's not what you think." Her voice cracked, desperate. Marcus rose, unfazed, brushing his sleeve as if Jake were a minor inconvenience. "Calm down, friend," he said, his tone patronizing. "This is just a meeting." "A meeting? In their bedroom, at midnight?" Jake's blood boiled. He took a step forward, fists clenched, but Sarah scrambled between them, her hands raised. "Please, Jake, let me explain." Tears welled in her eyes, but they didn't reach him. The image of her with Marcus was seared into his mind, a betrayal sharper than any knife. Marcus seized the moment, slipping past Jake toward the stairs. "We'll talk later, Sarah," he called, his footsteps fading. But as he brushed by, something fell from his pocket, a sleek black USB drive, glinting on the floor. Jake lunged for it, snatching it before Sarah could react. Her eyes widened, a flicker of panic crossing her face. "Jake, give that back," she whispered, but her voice trembled. He ignored her, pocketing the drive. "Get out," he said, his voice low, barely containing his rage. Sarah hesitated, then grabbed a coat and fled, leaving a scrawled note on the kitchen counter. "I need space. Don't follow me." The door slammed and silence swallowed the house. Sleep was impossible. Jake paced the living room, the USB burning a hole in his pocket. Sarah's behavior had been off for months, late-night, self-help meetings, whispered calls she brushed off as work. He trusted her, chalked it up to a midlife search for meaning. Now doubt nodded him. Who was Marcus? What was Eternal Horizon, the wellness group Sarah raved about? And why did she look at the USB like it held her life? At dawn, Jake called Ethan Carter, his old college buddy and a cybersecurity whiz. "I need you to crack something," Jake said, his voice raw. Ethan arrived within the hour, his laptop already humming. He plugged in the USB, his fingers flying across the keys. "This is encrypted, man," Ethan muttered, brow furrowed. "Military-grade stuff. What's going on?" Jake recounted the night, each word tasting like ash. Ethan's jaw tightened, but he stayed focused, bypassing the encryption in under an hour. The screen lit up with files, blockchain transactions, spreadsheets, and email chains. Jake's stomach dropped as he recognized his crypto wallet address, $400,000, his life savings from a lucky Bitcoin trade in 2021, gone. Transferred on March 10, 2025, to an unknown address. Sarah had his wallet keys. He'd shared them years ago, back when trust was unbreakable. But it wasn't just his money. The files listed other names, Tom, Greg, Michael, men like him, their accounts drained. Each transaction was stamped with a logo, Eternal Horizon. "Jake, this isn't just an affair," Ethan said, his voice grim. "This is a scam. A big one." He opened an email from Marcus to Sarah dated a month ago. "Jake's next. Get him to the seminar. He's ripe. Sarah's reply was a gut punch. He trusts me completely. It's almost too easy. Jake's knees buckled. His marriage, his dreams were a lie. Sarah wasn't a victim, she was Marcus's partner, luring men into a trap. And the USB was the key to unraveling it all. But there was more. Another file, a cryptic audio clip, loaded automatically. Sarah's voice, low and tense, filled the room. Marcus, I want my cut now. I'm not waiting. Marcus's reply was sharp. Don't push me, Sarah. You're in too deep to back out. The clip cut off, leaving Jake reeling. Sarah wasn't just complicit, she was fighting for a bigger piece of the pie. His rage hardened into resolve. Marcus and Sarah thought they'd broken him, but they'd underestimated him. This wasn't just betrayal, it was war, and Jake was ready to fight. He leaned over Ethan's shoulder, staring at the screen. Find me everything, he said, his voice steady for the first time. I'm taking them down. Outside, Chicago's skyline glittered under a gray dawn, but Jake saw only the path ahead. The USB was his weapon, and he was just getting started. Jake Miller's Chicago apartment was a war zone of coffee cups and crumpled notes, the USB drive from Marcus Kane's pocket its only treasure. The revelation that Sarah, his wife of 8 years, was a key player in Eternal Horizon's scam, stealing his $400,000 crypto savings and targeting others, had gutted him. But the audio clip Ethan uncovered, Sarah demanding her cut from Marcus, lit a fire in Jake. She wasn't just betraying him, she was clawing for power in their scheme. By midday, Jake's grief had hardened into resolve. We need their next move, he told Ethan, his voice sharp. They're not getting away. Ethan, eyes glued to his laptop, traced a $50,000 transfer from Jake's account to a swanky River North bar, the Gilded Loft. Marcus and Sarah are there often, he said, pulling up a grainy security photo of them clinking glasses. Jake's stomach twisted. His money, their celebration. I'm going tonight, he declared, ignoring Ethan's warning glance. If they spot you, they won't, Jake snapped. He needed to see Sarah's new world, to face the stranger she'd become. The Gilded Loft glowed with amber lights, its upscale crowd masking Jake's hoodie-clad figure in a corner booth. His eyes locked on Sarah and Marcus at the bar, her laugh cutting through the jazz like a blade. A new diamond bracelet sparkled on her wrist, his savings turned into her trophy. Jake's phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. I know you're hurting. Meet me tomorrow. I'll explain. His thumb hovered over the reply, memories of their old life flickering, but he pocketed the phone. Lies, all of it. He snapped a photo of them, but a clumsy step knocked over a chair. Sarah's head whipped around, eyes narrowing. Jake, she called, rising. He bolted, weaving through patrons, her voice fading as he hit the street, heart hammering. Back home, Ethan had cracked more of Eternal Horizon's server. They're moving the money offshore in 36 hours, he said, voice urgent. Once it's gone, you'll never get it back. Jake's jaw clenched. Time was slipping away. Ethan opened a new file, a victim list, dozens of names, millions drained. One stood out, Lisa Bennett, a local realtor still active on social media. She might have intel, Ethan suggested. Jake found her at a Loop cafe, her face weary but sharp. Sarah charmed me at a seminar, Lisa admitted. Next thing, my retirement fund was gone. They're holding a summit tomorrow, West Loop warehouse. She slid him an address, her voice low. Watch your back. Marcus has people. The warehouse squatted under a drizzling sky, its brick facade hiding Eternal Horizon's heart. Jake parked blocks away, adrenaline buzzing. He slipped through a rusted side door, the air thick with mildew. Inside, Marcus stood on a platform, spinning tales of wealth through trust to a hushed crowd. Sarah circled, collecting cash-stuffed envelopes, her smile a perfect mask. Jake hid behind a stack of crates, recording with his phone. Then a hushed argument, Sarah cornering Marcus. I moved $150,000 to my own account, Marcus. Pay me or I talk. Marcus's eyes flashed. You're replaceable, Sarah. Jake's breath caught. Sarah was double-crossing her own partner. A loose board creaked under Jake's foot. A guard's head snapped up. Someone's here, he barked. Jake sprinted for the door, dodging crates as shouts echoed. A hand grazed his jacket, but he dove through a broken window, landing hard in an alley. Rain stung his scraped hands as he ran to his car. In the rearview, Sarah stood at the warehouse door, her gaze cold, unreadable. Back at his apartment, Jake replayed the video, Sarah's betrayal of Marcus, clear as day. Ethan whistled. She's playing him. But check this, a forged email on their server pinning the scam on Lisa Bennett. It's a fake, meant to throw us off. Jake's mind raced. Marcus was building a trap, but Jake was one step ahead. With 36 hours left, he'd risk everything to bring them down. Jake Miller's Chicago apartment buzzed with the hum of Ethan's laptop, the only sound louder than his racing thoughts. The video from the West Loop warehouse, Sarah admitting to skimming $150,000 from Marcus Kane's Eternal Horizon scam, played on a loop in his mind. With 36 hours until Marcus moved millions offshore, including Jake's stolen $400,000, time was a noose tightening around him. Sarah's cold stare in the alley haunted him, a sign she suspected his pursuit. "She's on to me," Jake told Ethan, his voice taut. "We need to hit them now." Ethan's screen glowed with new data from Eternal Horizon's server. "I found a storage unit in Pilsen linked to a $20,000 transfer," he said. "Marcus is stashing cash there, physical proof." Jake's eyes narrowed. Hard evidence could tip the police, but infiltrating Marcus's territory was a gamble. Ethan hesitated. "Jake, there's something else." A message from Sarah to an unknown contact: "If Marcus cuts me out, I'm done playing nice." She's planning something big. Jake's got twisted. Sarah wasn't just double-crossing Marcus, she was a wild card, dangerous and desperate. Jake drove to Pilsen under a moonless sky, the storage facility's neon sign flickering like a warning. He parked a block away, hoodie up, and cut through an alley, his breath visible in the chill. The unit's lock was flimsy, a crowbar from his trunk did the trick. Inside, crates brimmed with cash bundles, burner phones, and a ledger listing victims, his name among them. He snapped photos, hands shaking, but a noise froze him: footsteps. Sarah's voice, sharp and low, echoed outside. "Check the locks now?" Jake ducked behind a crate, heart pounding. She was here. Through a gap, he saw Sarah, her face tense, arguing with a wiry guard. "Marcus is paranoid," she hissed. "If he finds my account, we're done." The guard shrugged, but his radio crackled: perimeter breach. Jake's crowbar had tripped a silent alarm. He bolted for a back exit, crates toppling as he ran. The guard shouted, flashlight beam grazing Jake's heel. He dove into a dumpster outside, holding his breath as Sarah's footsteps paused nearby. "Find him," she snapped, voice icy. Minutes later, her car peeled away, leaving Jake gasping in the dark, photos safe on his phone. Back at the apartment, Ethan's face paled at the images. "This is enough for the cops, Jake. Cash, ledgers open and shut." But Jake wasn't ready to hand it over. Sarah's message gnawed at him. She was planning to burn Marcus, maybe flee with the money. If the police moved too soon, she'd slip away. Ethan pulled up a new find: encrypted chat between Marcus and a fixer. "Dispose of loose ends," Marcus wrote, timestamped an hour ago. "Sarah," the fixer replied. "If she talks, yes," Marcus answered. Jake's blood ran cold. Sarah was a traitor, but Marcus was a predator, and she was in his crosshairs. "We turn the tables," Jake said, a plan forming. Ethan frowned but nodded, tapping into Eternal Horizon's server. They crafted a fake email, mimicking Marcus's style, instructing the fixer to secure Sarah's account at a fake meetup tomorrow. "If Sarah thinks Marcus is coming for her, she'll panic," Jake explained. "She'll lead us to the money." It was a risk. Sarah was sharp and Marcus was ruthless, but Jake had nothing left to lose. The next morning, Jake tailed Sarah from her downtown hotel, her movements jittery. She sped to a derelict lot in Englewood, clutching a laptop. Jake watched from a distance, hidden by rusted cars. Sarah logged into a crypto exchange, transferring funds with frantic clicks. Jake's phone pinged Ethan, tracking the transaction. "She's moving $500,000 to a new wallet," he whispered. But then tires scratched. Marcus's SUV roared in, his face a mask of fury. "You thought you could steal from me?" he shouted, advancing. Sarah froze, laptop slipping. Jake's instinct screamed to act, but he stayed put, recording. This was his chance. Sarah's voice shook. "I was loyal, Marcus. You cut me out." Marcus laughed cold. "You're a tool, Sarah. Tools get replaced." A guard loomed, but Sarah dodged, sprinting for her car. Marcus didn't pursue, his smirk chilling. Jake's video captured it all, proof of the rift, Sarah's theft. But as he slipped away, a text from Ethan hit like a brick: "Marcus knows someone's leaking. He's hunting you." Jake's hands trembled. The clock was ticking, and the hunter was now the hunted. Ake Miller's Chicago apartment felt like a bunker, the blinds drawn tight against the dawn of March 17, 2025. Ethan's text: "Marcus knows someone's leaking. He's hunting you," burned in Jake's mind, each word a pulse of dread. With less than 24 hours before Marcus Kane moved Eternal Horizon's stolen millions offshore, including Jake's $400,000, the walls were closing in. The video from Englewood, Sarah's desperate attempt to transfer $500,000, Marcus's chilling threat, proved their scam was fracturing, but also that Jake was a target. "We end this now," Jake told Ethan, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. Ethan's laptop screen flickered with new data. "I hacked a backdoor into their server," he said. eyes bloodshot. Marcus is meeting a crypto broker tonight at a dockside office in Calumet. He's finalizing the offshore transfer. Jake's pulse quickened. A physical meeting meant evidence, documents, faces, proof to bury Marcus. But Ethan's next words chilled him. There's a catch. Sarah's been cut out. Marcus froze her access to the accounts. Jake replayed Sarah's panic transfer in Englewood. She wasn't just skimming. She was fighting to survive. And Marcus's order to dispose of loose ends meant she was as much a target as Jake. We use her, Jake said, a plan sparking. Sarah's desperate. If we push her, she'll flip on Marcus. Ethan frowned, uneasy. She's a snake, Jake. What if she plays you? The risk was real. Sarah's text, begging to talk, still lingered in Jake's phone. A siren's call. But Jake saw no other path. They crafted a burner email, attaching a still from the Englewood video. Sarah, laptop in hand, betraying Marcus. The message was blunt. We know what you did. Meet us at Millennium Park. 3 p.m. Help us. Or this goes to Marcus. Jake hit send, heart pounding. It was a gamble, but Sarah's back was against the wall. At Millennium Park, Jake waited by the cloud gate, the bean's silver curves reflecting a gray sky. Ethan monitored from a nearby cafe, ready to track Sarah's phone. She appeared, coat clutched tight, eyes darting like a cornered animal. Jake, she whispered, voice raw. You don't understand what you're in. He held up his phone, the video paused on her face. I understand you stole my life. Talk, Sarah, or Marcus gets this. Her mask cracked, tears welling. He used me, Jake. Promised me freedom, then took everything. I skimmed to escape. Jake's chest tightened. Her pain felt real, but so had her lies. Prove it, he said. Give me Marcus's broker. Sarah hesitated, then typed an address into Jake's phone. A Calumet dock office, matching Ethan's intel. He's there tonight, 9 p.m., she said. But Marcus knows someone's onto him. He's got guards. Jake studied her, searching for the woman he loved. She was gone, replaced by a stranger fighting for survival. If you're lying, you're done, he warned, walking away. Ethan's text buzzed. She's calling someone. Not Marcus. Unknown number. Jake's gut sank. Sarah was playing another angle and he'd just stepped into her game. The Calumet docks reeked of oil and rust. The office a squat building under flickering lights. Jake and Ethan parked a block away, the night thick with tension. Jake gripped a hidden camera pen, his only weapon. Record everything. Then we're out, Ethan whispered. They slipped through a side gate, dodging security cameras. Inside, Marcus's voice echoed, smooth and commanding, as he handed a USB to a suited broker. Move it all by dawn, he said. Jake's camera caught it, names, accounts, millions. But a shadow moved. A guard, earpiece glinting, spotted them. Intruders, he barked. Jake and Ethan sprinted, footsteps pounding behind. A guard's hand grazed Jake's sleeve, but he dove under a desk, Ethan scrambling into a vent. The office door slammed open. Sarah, eyes wide, clutching a bag. Marcus, we're compromised, she shouted. But her gaze flicked to Jake's hiding spot. She knew he was there. Marcus snarled. Find them! Guards fanned out, and Jake held his breath, camera still rolling. Sarah's bag slipped, spilling cash and a burner phone. Marcus's eyes narrowed. What's this, Sarah? Her voice shook. Just back up, I swear. But Marcus grabbed the phone, scrolling. You've been talking, he hissed. Chaos erupted. Sarah bolted, Marcus shouting after her. Jake seized the moment, slipping out with Ethan through a back exit. In the car, Jake checked the footage. Marcus's deal, Sarah's betrayal, all captured. But Ethan's face was grim. That unknown number Sarah called is a fixer. She's not just running from Marcus. She's selling him out to someone else. Jake's hands clenched. Sarah was a chess master and he was still a pawn. With hours left, the dockside proof was his ace. But Marcus was closing in, and Sarah's next move could ruin them all. Jake Miller's Chicago apartment was a fortress of shadows, the clock ticking past midnight on March 18, 2025. With Marcus Kane hours from moving Eternal Horizons' stolen millions offshore, including Jake's $400,000. The dockside footage of Marcus's deal and Sarah's betrayal was Jake's last weapon. Ethan's warning rang in his ears. Sarah was scheming with an unknown fixer, selling out Marcus to save herself. "We've got enough," Ethan urged, his laptop open to an anonymous tip form for the Chicago PD. "Send the video, Jake. End this." But Jake hesitated. Sarah's plea at Millennium Park, her fear, her tears, gnawed at him. Was she a monster, or a pawn who'd lost her way? "We leak it ourselves," Jake decided, voice firm. "Police are too slow. If Marcus bolts, Sarah vanishes with him." Ethan's eyes widened. "You're playing with fire. Marcus is hunting you." Jake knew the risk. Marcus's guards had nearly caught him at the docks. But justice wasn't just about his money. It was about the dozens of victims, like Lisa Bennett, whose lives Eternal Horizon had shattered. Ethan nodded, uploading the dockside video to a Chicago crime forum, titled, "Eternal Horizon's $1 Million Scam Exposed." They attached the ledger photos, victim lists, and Sarah's burner phone texts, all anonymized. "It's done," Ethan said, hitting send. "Now we wait." By dawn, Chicago buzzed with the story. Local news flashed. Self-help scam busted in Calumet raid. Police stormed Marcus's dockside office, seizing cash, ledgers, and the broker's USB. Marcus was arrested, his smug facade crumbling as cameras caught him in cuffs. Jake watched from a Lakeview diner, relief warring with dread. Sarah was still out there, her fixer's identity a shadow. Ethan tracked her phone to a South Loop motel. "She's running," he said. "But there's a new message to you." Jake's phone lit up. "Jake, I'm sorry. Meet me at Navy Pier 2 p.m. I'll give you everything." His heart twisted. A trap, or a chance at truth? Navy Pier's crowds offered cover, the Ferris wheel looming under a stormy sky. Jake arrived, camera pen ready, Ethan monitoring from a distance. Sarah stood by the water, rain-soaked, no trace of her diamond bracelet. "I didn't want this," she said, voice breaking. "Marcus promised a new life, but he used me. I skimmed to escape, not to hurt you." Jake's jaw tightened. "You stole my savings, Sarah. My trust." She flinched, pulling a USB from her pocket. "This has Marcus's accounts. Your money's there. I'm turning myself in." Jake took it, wary. "Why now?" Sarah's eyes met his. "Because I loved you once. I owe you this." Before Jake could respond, a black sedan screeched nearby. Two men, fixers not Marcus's, lunged for Sarah. "You talked," one snarled. Jake grabbed her arm, pulling her through the crowd as Ethan's text buzzed. "Get out. They're not alone." They ducked into a gift shop, hearts pounding. But Sarah tripped, the USB skittering across the floor. Fixer snatched it, smirking. "Game over." Jake tackled him, wrestling the drive back as Sarah screamed, "Run!" Security swarmed, detaining the fixers. Jake and Sarah slipped away, the USB secure. At a safe house Ethan had rigged, Jake plugged in the USB. It held Marcus's crypto keys, $300,000 of Jake's funds traceable. But a hidden file shocked him. Sarah's confession, recorded days ago. "I joined Eternal Horizon to escape debt," she said. "Marcus manipulated me, but I chose wrong. I'm sorry, Jake." Ethan traced the fixers to a rival scammer Marcus had double-crossed. Sarah's call to them was a desperate bid to trade Marcus's secrets for freedom. "She's burned every bridge," Ethan said. Jake nodded, handing the USB to a lawyer friend. "Let the cops have it." Days later, Marcus faced charges. Fraud, money laundering, conspiracy. Sarah turned herself in, her testimony sealing his fate. She avoided prison but lost everything, her family, her name. Jake recovered $250,000, enough for a fresh start. He moved to a small Wicker Park flat, the city's hum a reminder of his resilience. Volunteering with a fraud prevention group, he shared his story, helping victims like Lisa rebuild. One night, by Lake Michigan, a letter arrived, Sarah's, handwritten. I'll carry this guilt forever. Be free, Jake. He burned it, the ashes drifting over the water. Not hate, but closure. Jake walked Chicago's streets, the weight of betrayal lifting. Sarah's lies had scarred him, but they'd also forged him. Marcus rotted in jail. Sarah faced her reckoning, and Jake stood tall. Justice, not vengeance, had won. The lake's waves whispered a promise. The future was his, and he was ready.